So, Chin Chow.
Chin Chow.
Chin Chow. And let's say here, what do we, for me, I am Zerlina from She Who Recreates Herself. So basically it's a new channel that I started, and it's basically talking about reinventing our lives.
Okay.
Starting over. And that seems to be just what you did here in Vietnam. But I always say
there's a saying, if you don't like the script, you can rewrite the script. So you go cut.
Hold up. Hold that right there. Hold up.
And then say action.
So good morning, Bangkok, Thailand. Good morning, Vietnam.
Good morning. Xin chào.
And then what do we Sawasdee Ka is Thailand. Hello. And so basically tell us who you are and what brought you to Vietnam.
Okay, I am Enoch Throckmorton Jr. And I'm from the Detroit area. Actually, I call it the burbs. And I retired about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago now. And in my career, I've worked several industries. I've worked automotive manufacturing, I've worked hotels, hospitality, and I'm also a security. Oh, good. Okay. Okay. I'm also a security individual. So those are the three. When I retired, I was working on the assembly line, and I was building axles for Jeep. And also at one point I was wiring seats for Wrangler. So that was what I did. So when I retired, that's what I did. Now on the assembly line, all I thought about was the beach. Because when I was younger and in my 20s, when I worked for Ford Motor Company, every time we got a profit sharing check, I was always in the Bahamas, or I was always in Aruba, or I was always in St. Thomas. And I made sure that I was somewhere where there was a beach. Wow. So I would always tell people I'm a world-class beach bum, because I go anywhere in the world as long as there's a beach. So on the assembly line, that's all I'm thinking about. And by this time, I hadn't been to a beach in years.
Wow.
And so I'm building these axles, and all I'm thinking about, so I'm thinking, okay, 3 more years, and I'm retiring, and I'm going to the beach. 2 more years, I'm going to retire, and I'm going to the beach. 1 more year, and then when I retired, okay, first I went into depression because I was working 12 hours a day, almost 6 and 7 days a week, but that was my choice. You know, didn't care for the company, didn't care for the job, but I love making money. And I was cleaning up. And so and I had a huge debt load too, so I was knocking down debt because I didn't want to retire and still owe a lot of money. So, but anyway, I finally retired, but then all of a sudden I got depressed because all of those hours, all of a sudden I didn't have enough stuff to fill in the slots of the hours I was working. So yeah, I would go to the gym and work out 1 or 2 days a week, and I might do something, but I had all this free time, and I'm so used to go. So I kind of went into a little rough depression. So in order to deal with depression, I had to lose myself in, and I love travel, so I had to lose myself in travel videos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I got the coconut coffee. I had the coconut.
Now, as you can see, even though she put the ice on the side, I still don't get much.
A shot, because you know it's a little stronger here.
They're going to give me the amount of coffee they won't give me anyway.
Yeah, but because it's stronger.
Reason for ice on the side, hopefully I got more coffee. I just kind of supplemented. You know, but it don't work that way. Now you probably, I would say you probably want to stir it.
So,
but anyway,
tell me more about the depression, because you said you was working.
Yeah, I was working, and all of a sudden it's like a faucet going full force, and immediately when you stop, there's nothing. It's quiet, silence. There's nothing to fill the void of all that action that was going on. So so I lost myself in travel videos. I went to YouTube. You know, back in the day when we had cable, I was watching travel channels anyway.
Okay.
That's why I knew where to go when I got my profit sharing checks at Ford Motor Company. But anyway, I used to get lost in travel videos, and I watched so many videos, and it would be safe to say I watched about maybe 300-400 videos. And I started running across slow travelers. I went, that looks interesting. They started talking about how much it costs. or how much less it is to exist as a slow traveler than it is to live in the United States. And I went, so they got my ear. Then I ran into some digital nomads, people who actually work online, but they get to work all over the place. And they were talking about where they live, how much they pay in rent, and how much they pay in food, and how much they pay in entertainment. And I'm thinking, I like this. I like this. This is really nice. Then I got in hold of some expats. I said, that sounds like my slot. Expats. And expats was talking about, so first I started researching, and in the middle of my research, somehow I overcame my depression. Because I got excited and I began to make up my mind, you know what, this is what I want to do. Why? Because by this time the cost of living had gotten started, so I was losing my little entertainment cushion money. You know, before I would pay my expenses, I got money to go out and eat, and I got money to do a little, I was losing that. And so
what you're saying is that you had the job, you were getting the hours and the money. But then the more you were buying things to live your life, the debt
the cost increased.
The costs increase, right? So, costs increase like rent and things like that. Okay,
right.
And so
my rent.
So even though you was working all these regular hours plus your overtime, you were still not able to enjoy all of this.
That's the debt. I was paying off debt. I had mega debt.
Okay.
So I was paying that off, and I paid it off, but at a cost of me struggling, so to speak.
And sacrificing our sanity, right?
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So I managed to get control of the depression portion of it.
Okay.
But then I started dealing with the inflation that came. And there's a number of reasons put together that caused me to decide to come out here.
Okay.
But that was one of them.
All right.
And so I dealt with the debt, and then all of a sudden the increase. Groceries were higher. My rent went up like almost $300.
Wow.
You know, it got to the point where I was underwater a few months. Well, not a few months, but a month. I would be underwater a month here, a month there. Then I barely this month. And so it got to the point where I was robbing Peter to pay Paul. The next month I said, okay, Paul, it ain't your turn. I'm gonna have to take care of Peter because I don't have it like that. And then next month, and it kept going back and forth like that. And then from time to time, you get a notice, you know, we're gonna discontinue this because, or we're gonna give you, and I was paying late fees. That was my middle name. Because even my rent, you know, when my retirement benefits came, sometimes it came 2 or 3 days past the grace period of my rent. You know, they give you 5 days. So I would always pay, and I was in several categories. I was always paying late. I got tired of that.
Right.
I'm like, I'm retired. This is not what I had envisioned when I was on the assembly line. Not struggling like this.
No.
So when I'm looking at these expats talking about, you know, we paying $400 in rent, and here I'm paying $12, and then if I got late fees, I'm paying up to $1,400 a month. And for my area, that's a lot. Now some areas in the country, the United States, that's not a lot, but in my area, that's big. So, and I'm on a fixed income, and I'm trying to make all this work, and I'm sitting down, and I'm trying to juggle and trying to figure out, okay, whose turn is going to get paid this month? I'm like,
it's not adding
up. That's not the way I want to live. So I made a decision. That caused me to make a along with others to make a decision that I'm gonna move. So I started researching Thailand at first. I looked at Bangkok. I said Bangkok don't have any beaches. It's kind of landlocked. So I looked at Pattaya. Some people pronounce it Pattaya. I looked at that and I said, okay, that might be, but that's more of the image come out of Pattaya is more of a weekly girlfriend type. And I ain't trying to find a woman. I mean, if I find one organically, that's wonderful, and I'm open to it, but that ain't my reason. That's a lot of guys' reason for going there, and that ain't mine. And I'm not into the bar hopping kind of thing. You know, I'll drink a cocktail here and there, and if it's hot, I might drink a beer once or twice here and there, but I'm not into the bar scene, so that's the image I got out of Pattaya. So I said, okay. Then I started looking to the Philippines. Now, the Philippines is known for wife material type women. You know, women who had the same qualities that the women in our country had back in the 60s and 70s. If you want to go into a time machine And particularly the baby boomers like us who reminisce of the good old days, you probably want to go to the Philippines.
They get you an old 60s type of gal, because these girls nowadays, they work.
But the Philippines has so many islands, there's so many, it's like, I don't, to research all these islands and what's a good fit for me, that's a lot. Then I started listening to expats that had been to the Philippines and Thailand, had been to Vietnam, and they all had the same message. Vietnam is cheaper. And I went, ding.
Wow.
And so I said, okay, I'm gonna put all my focus on Vietnam, and that's what I did. So I started looking at Ho Chi Minh City, which is also known as Saigon. And it's no beach, it's about an hour to get to a beach there, but when I started looking at Da Nang, it's two pronunciations. I have problems. I used to call it Da Nang because I heard other people. When I got on the plane coming over here, the people who live here call it Da Nang. I went, so every now and then you will hear me interchange the two.
Da Nang,
So I started researching this place. And everything I found checked every single box that I was looking for. The beach, the food, the weather, the people, the safety. I mean, everything. I went, whoa. Okay, so I had planned to come last December just to check it out. And things had gotten so rough for me at home financially that I said, okay, if I go in December for a couple of weeks, that's a nice cost layout for me. If I come home and make a decision to move, now I got to come up with more money. So I said, okay, I'm gonna cancel December and I'm gonna move sight unseen. I haven't been there. I've only been watching on the video, but I felt like I watched enough where I trust my judgment that if I decide to make a move, I will be making the right decision. So I canceled my trip and I put all my money together and I just started. And then Chat GPT became my best friend, and I asked Chat, I said, look, I want to be moved by this date. Give me a schedule of everything I need to do leading up to that, and I follow it all the way close to the end. Then I kind of went on my own the last month. They gave you, this month, you should be doing this. This month, you should be doing this. So I started selling my furniture back in November. I started selling, actually I kind of jumped the gun because they suggest I start selling my furniture in January, but I went, nope. But I had some big pieces, I had some incredibly expensive pieces, but I worked a lot, so my whole thing is interior design, so I love my space. So, and I wasn't giving my stuff away because I paid way too much for it, so I started selling way back in November. And thanks to y'all who gets on Facebook Marketplace, I love you guys, because I marketed my furniture on several platforms, but everything went through Facebook Marketplace. I sold, by January, I had sold some of my major expensive pieces. You know, lamps that's a couple $1,000 and dresses that, you know, $2,000. And I just, rugs, oh my God. So I got a chance to sell all that stuff, but it kind of went slowly, but by the time it was time to move, I was ready.
Okay.
So that, what led me to get to that point? Because I was trying to give you a little story.
Okay.
But I kind of went a little detour, and I'm trying to get back to where I was going. But anyway, the inflation got me, so I decided, and I had canceled my trip. Yeah, that's all I was doing. I canceled my trip, so I said, I'm gonna do it. So that's what I did.
Sight
so
unseen.
I started getting my banking, at least I tried to get my banking stuff together so that it can work while I'm here. I secured my U.S. Address, you know, through a U.S. company that handles that for people who travel. Okay. I got that taken care of.
What about the visa? Tell us what visa did you come on?
Just
what did you need?
The EV, the tourist 90-day visa. I got online. I found a couple who gave you instructions on YouTube on how to do that. So I got on and it was, you know, I'm not tech savvy. So it took me about 5 or 6 tries for it to go
through.
Well, not go through. It's just that when it got to the date, you know, you hit the date, the calendar drops down. They said, when you want to leave? So I said May 6th, and it wouldn't go forward. So what's going on? So I got stuck, so I got out of it. So I tried again, I got out of it. So I found out that in the other parts of the world, they want the day first, then the month. It took me a minute to figure that out. Okay. And I don't know why it took so long, because I've been in situations years ago where I had to, you know, do the format that way. But anyway, yeah, so it took me, but I finally got through, and then so I asked Chat GPT, I said, well, this is the status they put me in. It was processing for a while. And they said it takes 3 to 5 days. And so 3 to 5 days came and went, and I went to it, and it said, well, I forgot the status it said. But anyway, it was it's acceptable. But Chat GPT told me that it was going to say something else. So I'm thinking I wasn't accepted. So I took a picture of it, sent it to Chat. I said, what is this saying? He said, well, give them another, 2 or 3 days. I said, okay. So I did that. I clicked it, it was still the same. So then I asked ChatGPT, he said, oh, acceptance means that you've been accepted. I said, but you said, and ChatGPT, like a human, said, okay, it's my call. I'm like, oh, okay.
My bad.
So I got accepted. So actually, I got accepted in the 3 to 5 days that they said that I would.
Oh,
so
but
I'm
you
on
didn't
a 90-day visa. I've already contacted the company that's going to do the border run.
Okay.
And what I have to do, I have to take my visa to them a couple days early.
Okay.
They start processing before we actually leave. They're a limousine service. They come all the way to my apartment. They pick me up.
Wow.
Along with other people. They take us to country Laos, just to the border. Somehow, and I don't know all of it because I've never done it, and I've watched it on video, but somehow something gets processed on this side. We walk across the border on that side. We give it to them.
And come back. Wow.
And I think we come back, but the company goes and do all the little, and they come back and they just distribute all of our renewed 90-day visa. And they made it so simple.
Oh.
And I said, hey, this is the way to go. So I contacted her. I said, look, my stuff is not up until August 3rd, but we're gonna do ours last week in July.
Right. Wait until the last.
Nothing like that. I don't want to go.
How much did that service start?
The service itself costs about in US $143.
Not bad, yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, that includes the visa fees, I believe.
Most likely.
Don't write that in stone, but I believe that includes, so $143, okay, every 90 days, $143, we good. Every now and then, of course, I'm going to want to visit Thailand, I'm going to want to visit Philippines,
yeah,
so I may not do the border run that way, but...
Oh, so they don't have a retirement visa here or anything like that, more long term?
I can't really answer that. I don't know. I don't know the process and all the visas is available, but I'm told that it's kind of limited here and compared to other countries.
Right.
How limited, I'm not sure.
Okay, so you have to do what you have to do. Yep, that works. That works.
So let's do your research, because that's what oh my God, research. And I was already researching other areas of my life anyway, so this came easy for me. And research also helped me deal with my depression, so that worked out good. And I'm an OG. I'm old school. Everybody do stuff on computer. I write stuff out, so I got files and folders and labels, and even now I even brought it here in my apartment. I still got files. So
notes. You keep good notes, right? And
yes.
Note taker. Awesome.
I try to. Or I'll record it and then I'll come back and I'll transcribe it later, from a recording.
So Enoch, if I had to ask you, when you came here, what were you looking for?
A cheaper way to live.
Okay.
Like before I was paying $1,200. Right now I'm paying $680 a month, and I'm in a brand new building. It's never been moved in before. I'm the very first person to live in my apartment. Wow. And I'm the third tenant in the whole building. I think there's 18 apartments in the whole building. So I'm the third tenant. So I'm in a brand new place. Now, I'm not, when I walked in the place, this is not 100% me, so to speak. I looked at a few apartments before that and I went, oh no, wait. I kind of got my standards, being
definitely
in interior design. I see what the possibilities are, whatever.
Oh wow.
And
you're the second guy that I interviewed that's actually into interior design.
Yeah, and
wow.
I love it. I have fun with it, and I've done work for people. And this one lady, she said, "You are the first interior designer I've ever worked with that's not gay." I said, "Wow, well, thank you very much." I said, "Well, thank you very much."
I don't think the other guy is gay either that I met. Wow.
In her, in her exposure of male interior design. I guess most of them they gave. But I said, well, that's a compliment. Well, thank you very much.
But that's a little, I'm thinking, I don't know, how are they with you making an income? Because I'm thinking, like, if you could stage their apartments and stuff, that would be a good thing for you to do. Are you into doing something like that?
Not
for
really.
them? Staging?
I've only done it as a hobby, although once I got paid for it because the church that I attended at the time built a big, huge extension onto it. And so I had the opportunity to pick all the colors of the offices and all the furniture and the carpet and the tiles in the bathroom. And so they paid me.
Okay. So
and they paid me well. so that's the only time I got paid. But every other project I've done for people, it was strictly, and if people gave me something, it was just a stipend, you know, a little token, you know, but yeah. Well, yeah, that's fun for me, you know. Well, yeah.
So then when you got here, you were able to adjust pretty good?
I got an Airbnb. I booked it before I left US. And when I got here, it turned out to be in a hotel, and I was in the hotel. It's pretty cool. In a hotel, so I stayed there for 5 days. And in my thinking, in 5 days I would find a place, but no, it's
a little harder.
Make it sound like, oh, if you stay, you know, 5 days or whatever, and look for your place, you find. But I guess if you accept anything, yeah, you probably will find anything. But me, I'm picky, and when I contact my agent, I let her know up front. I says, now, I may not be your easiest customer. I said, I'm picky. I have mine, you know, and she found out. And she started sending me a barrage of pictures, and I went, nope. Because there were certain things I was looking for. I didn't like wet bathrooms that's popular in Asia, where you take a shower and the toilet gets wet and everything is wet. I didn't like that. It had to be a petition, at least there.
Okay.
And I don't like studios. It had to be a bedroom.
All right.
And a lot of these agents were advertising apartments when they really were studios. And then there was apartments that I found that they had a great layout. But when I got there, I said, oh, they took a picture of this place when it was new. This ain't the way. This is not the way it looked on that picture. And
that's horrible.
I turned the picture and I says, do this look the same? I mean, see, they want to get used to us Americans. We straightforward, and we don't mind. You know, I'm very tactful in the way I do it, and I'm not gonna snatch your dignity in the way I do it. But I'm gonna let you know you lied. For instance, one agent. This is the biggest one. One agent said, "I got a unit. It's a 1-bedroom. It's brand new. It's overlooking the ocean." I went. He said the balcony is overlooking the ocean. I went, oh, this is great. So I booked it to go see it. I got there and I said, okay. The building was nowhere near Ocean Beach, but I went on and looked at it. I met the agent. We went upstairs and he was showing me around and whatever. And I said, okay, all right. So I got to the balcony. I said, oh, I don't see no ocean. And I looked at him and he was kind of looking a little funny. I said, in your ad, the reason why I came to look at this, because your ad said that when you open the sliders, you look on the back, you look at the ocean. I says, we're several blocks from the ocean. He said, oh, I might have made a mistake in my copy and paste. I said to myself, no, you didn't make no mistake. You lured me over here thinking that I would like this place and you can go ahead and get your commission. You know? I said, no.
Wow.
I said, that was the reason why I came here. I said, but since it's not overlooking the ocean, I'm not interested.
Wow.
So he lied straight up, and I caught him in, and they want to get used to us Americans because we, you know, some Americans not as tactful as I am. Now I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I love people. I love making people happy. I love making people smile. But I can get on your case without taking your dignity. You know. I can get on your case in a way where you don't know I've gotten on your case, but when you walk away, you're like, wait a minute, what did he just say?
He's holding me accountable, yeah.
Right.
And they're not used to it. Right. I think over in Thailand, we were told, like I did a Zoom meeting on Facebook with someone, and she was like, she wanted to tell me things like about the different condos with the bugs and roaches or whatever it had. Yeah. She wanted to be able to say, this one has that going on, you might not want that. But she had to look in the Zoom to see, like, who's on this Zoom? Let me see who's on it first before I say anything, because they have a law in Thailand. I don't know what it is here. But she said there's some sort of a law where they take in regards defamation of character. very big.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can't just be like, oh, don't go there, you know, because you mess up their name or whatever. And then they say, you know, the culture,
Oh, okay.
they about each other. They're about Thailand's are for Thailand's
And-
before they are for
And that's
Americans.
that's pretty much staying in Southeast Asia, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you walk across the street, which is a challenge here, it's and you get hit, most likely you're
gonna be
because you're the foreigner.
Wow.
You know, the locals are local, so they're gonna take us.
Take up for each other, which you respect. Yeah, you
So yeah,
respect.
I was in a situation where a guy almost hit me, you know, because I'm thinking, okay, I got plenty of time to walk across. He's way over here, so I get to walk across. Like he come right up to me, so I stopped and kind of backed up, and he kept pulling forward, and his mirror almost swiped.
Wow.
And in my 20s in the United States, I would have punched his glass, but I'm thinking, okay, I'm a guest here,
Yes.
so
Let me move out the way.
yeah. I said these people were the way they were before I got here. They'll be the way they are long after I'm gone.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do to change. I'm a guest here, so, and also I'm a student here, so I'll just step back, keep my cool.
Lesson
Let it
learned,
go,
right?
let it go, and I'll just know next time. But here, just want everybody in the United States to know, here, pedestrians don't have the right of way going across the street at all. So chances of you becoming roadkill, it's real strong. So when you first get here and there's another local standing on the curb ready to cross, just stay with that local. And when that local move, you move with the local until you get across, till you learn how they do it, because I tell you, it's a learning process.
I see it's challenging. It's
Oh.
challenging. That's what I did
Oh.
too. I was at a main intersection one day in Thailand, and it was like not the intersection to be crossing. So I'm with this guy, and I'm like, "Are you crossing?" I like a little girl.
Right.
Can you cross me? He's like, "No, go, keep walking." So he was telling me like, "Go walk over the bridge, the overpass."
yeah.
Because silly me, I'm looking at this like there is no way. I'm like, "Can you cross?" He's like, "Oh no, the overpass." And I
Okay.
realized that in those areas, there's an overpass in Thailand. If it seems too congested and too crazy, then you don't supposed to be crossing there. Go on
Yeah.
to the overpass. And I did, and so I got to cross that way.
Same here at the beach. You know, if you want to cross the street, you're going to be waiting on the curb a while until you get that opportunity. But there is an underpass. I just don't like going downstairs.
Yeah.
Because in the United States, it's kind of unpleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I never gone downstairs, but just the other day, I just saw a YouTuber go downstairs. It was okay. It was reasonably clean, but of course the graffiti was crazy under there.
Oh, get out. Wow.
You know, but I prefer not going down there. If I have to, I will. But yeah, but it's the same thing here. They got at least in that location, they have a couple under
overpass
Yeah.
over there and underpass here.
Yeah.
So tell me about this. What other challenges did you come up with as far as the language barrier? How are you getting along with that?
Well, I noticed if you patronize restaurants, shops, cafes in the immediate tourist area, most of those people can speak some English. Maybe not
Okay.
conversational English, but enough to, you know, take care of
Place your
your
order.
purchase or whatever. Now you get here is more local. It's not touristy as much here as it is at the beach. It's a
Okay.
little cheaper here, although it's not the cheapest. But here, yeah, every now and then you have to pull out your Google Translate.
Okay, every night.
And like yesterday, I had to use it 100% when I went in this one shop. Because first I said, "You speak English?" He was like,
No English.
so I said, "No problem." So I pull out my Google Translate, hit it, talking, and just let him read it.
Okay.
You know, so I've had to do that. But yeah, I've been able to do business here
Okay, no problem.
reasonably well. Some people know some English, but not. You know, you always ask, you know, do you speak English? And they'll always do this. You
Just a
know, so I
little bit.
understand.
Yeah.
But I have no problem taking care of business. There are some things in stores that I look for, and everything's in Vietnamese language. So I had to go to the counter and says, "Do you have bleach for white clothing?" She said, "Oh yeah." So she'll take me. I'll look at it. No, nothing English on it, but it's bleach.
Okay.
So you know, of course, I'll take a picture of the label. So next time I come to the store, this is what I'll get.
Well,
But
you know the Google Translate the reading on something as well.
you know what? Someone else just recently told me that yesterday, the day before, and I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
So now that you told me that,
It's with the camera, so you hit the translate, and then see that camera right there?
yes.
You just hold the camera
Oh, okay.
and then hold it in front, and it's going to read to you exactly what it
Oh,
says in
okay.
English. So you didn't even have to take a picture. You could just hold your camera up to
I learn
it.
something new every other day.
So any labels, any of that, you can just hold it up and it'll show you, it'll translate it for you and you can read it in English immediately, just like that. Yeah.
That's good information. Yeah. Okay.
So one of the things that, because I know before, I think it was like 2025, 24, something like that, I was at work and I remember the young lady, because I was like, I really want to move. I want to move out of the country. And she was like, well, where would you go? I was like, I don't know, maybe Thailand, maybe Bali or something. And she says, what about the fact that they don't speak English? And it dawned on me that had never even crossed my mind. I didn't even care. That didn't matter to me. But I know EA, the guy I was interviewing the other day, his video was in my on my channel, but he was saying he's been here and it's almost as if he doesn't get any eye contact. He's almost like an alien, like he felt like he was a little alone or whatever. Have you felt a little lonely or anything?
Because that's something I was thinking about yesterday.
Oh.
You know, I speak to people whether they look like they want to speak to me or not. And yeah, you're right. There's a lot of them kind of like just many of us in the U.S., you know, they just kind of mind their own business, keep going. But I meet enough people that will acknowledge me. You know, I'll see a Vietnamese person, I'll go, "Xin chào." You know, most guys ignore. The thing that concerns me though is expat to expat. Those of us who are not from here, they're the one that really ignores you. Like, and the saddest thing too, I'm in case you didn't notice, I'm a Black American. When I speak to my brothers here, they kind of, I'm thinking, oh, we all came here for a change. We all came to get away from the way we do things. But I'll admit that most Black people that I've met are not from the United States. You know, most of them from England or whatever. But I've gotten into some amazing conversations. And one thing in the U.S., our culture is not stopping somebody for a conversation.
Right.
We're kind of like, you know, this is my business, my own business. You know, this is my. Here, if you open up a conversation, it's almost welcome. So yesterday, I opened up a conversation with a guy, and I ended up standing for about 40 minutes. I didn't intend to, you know, I'm glad I wasn't on a time schedule, but we had a very healthy conversation. I learned something about his country, learned something about me, and whatever, and found out he's going to be here a while. But yeah.
Wow.
And another area relating to this that I want to touch on is expat groups. I friended expat groups on Facebook before I got here, in hopes of when I got here, there'll be a smooth transition into connect. That hasn't been so with me.
Get out.
This one expat group, I'm not gonna mention a name on this platform, but if she asks me after you turn the cameras off, I'm gonna tell her. I'm letting you know, tell her. This one expat group, you know, I want to be a part of, and I love what they stand for. I read all the stuff they do, and I went, oh, this is so great. So I contacted them. I says, how do I get in contact with you all? What's your schedule? How often you meet? Can I be included in the loop? And so they sent me this link where I could fill out this little form. So I filled out the form, and you know, they wanted me to send them a link to one of my social media. I guess they want to make sure I'm who I say I am. So I sent them a link, and they said they'll be in contact. I think if I'm not mistaken, within 3 to 5 days. It's been a week and a half. Never heard of them. So I sent another friendly message, let them know, you know, I'm still waiting for, and I still haven't. So I'm thinking, what's up with that? So I said, okay. And so I just recently saw that they're having an event soon, but they didn't put a location. But the event sounds interesting, and I want to attend. So I just I just put on their location. You know, hopefully they put a location. But then there's another expat group. I contact them, and I've been in contact with them again since I've been at home. Okay. And I come out here, and I says, I would like to associate with you all because now this group is a very diverse group, where the group I'm talking about before is just black diaspora, I'll put it that way. But this is a diverse group, so I contact them, and so they gave me an address where they were going to be meeting last weekend, but something came up and I couldn't meet, so I had to let them know that I won't be able to make it. No, this is 2 weeks ago. So last week, they didn't even include me in the loop at all. So I sent a message, did y'all forget me? I says, I still want to meet you all. So this week they finally sent me. So tonight they'll be meeting, so I'll meet with them. But for me, the smooth transition into connecting with an expat group hasn't been as smooth as I would like. You know, now I'm sure I'll at some point get connected with them, but it just hasn't been as easy as I thought it would be. But I thought expat groups important because I want to get with somebody I can laugh, talk to, share my humor, you know, my sarcasm, my, you know, Vietnamese people, you can't do that. And a lot of them who do speak some English, they're trying to practice their English when they talk to you. And they want to know, do you understand their English, correctly? So when I talk to locals here, I don't use slang. I talk as though I'm talking out of an English book. You know, like yesterday I was at one shop and I knew she was practicing her English because she told me before. So I talk perfect English. I don't use any slang. I talk perfectly. I pronounce my words perfectly because I know they're trying to learn. But if I meet a brother from home, hey, what's up, bro? What up? I'm from Detroit. What up, Doe?
You just can flow. You can flow easily with that. Wow.
So you have to you have to gauge your audience. Who's listening to you to determine how you're going to communicate with them.
Right. Yeah. Because I think on my channel, I was just saying the other day, basically that there is a problem with the English because what may mean one thing to them when we try to, you know, what it is, compute, by the time you get what they're saying, it doesn't equate to the same thing. Because I mean, we were out at a restaurant and we just said we want the grilled chicken salad. And then when we said we want another one of these salads, which was the grilled chicken salad. But when the salads arrived, it was 2 different salads. And so we were saying, like, hold up, what happened? What got lost in translation? Because we asked for another of the same salad, but then when we said grilled chicken, for them grilled chicken meant one thing. For us, we were basically saying we want the same thing all over again. The way this look, come do it again. And it didn't come out to that. And so we had to figure, like, but it let me see that. And even I think someone was saying the visas, when they were going down to do the visas, what they were asking for one, I know in the US, if you did your visa when you're outside of Bangkok, it says one thing, proof of income. But when you got into Bangkok, they wanted that proof of income in their bank account. So proof of income means one thing to us. But the fact that you actually want it sitting in your bank account, that's a whole nother that's not on the proof of income for us. So we don't get that to mean, oh, you want me to take my money and put it in your bank account and leave it there. Oh, that's something different. That's that's not what we call proof of income. So it's kind of hard in those senses of trying to really understand what it is they're trying to say to us. And so that's the only barrier that I've experienced so far. I've been ready for someone official like that too, because I brought my little Social Security little letter, you know, that tell how much I get. And that's easy. I'm gonna get a little cost of living increase or whatever. I'm like, see here, this is it, official. See, it's the government little logo. So I heard you call this home. Is this home for you now?
This is home. This is base. Now I plan to do a lot of traveling in my future, but this is going to be home. I'm going to maintain my apartment. Speaking of my apartment, I don't know if I'll have this apartment, but I'll have an apartment here. And wherever my apartment, it'll be in close proximity to the beach. Because I have no intention of renting a motorbike when they drive here. I'll never get used to those rules. And I have no intention of renting a car or buying a car. That's not my intention. So I'm gonna stay within close, but yeah.
So how are you coming? Because I did see on your page you were saying the other day about your budget, and how are you going along with? Have you received your bills yet for electricity, cable?
Not yet. Because a brand new bill. I haven't received my bill yet. And I'm uploading a video today on my expenses for my first month. But it's a lot more cheaper than it is in the United States.
Yes.
Well, on your channel, you know, in the United States, my monthly expenses is usually about $3,000, $4,000. Although collectively, I don't get that per month.
Wow.
I have to dip into, you know, I own
savings
stock,
and stuff.
You know, I have to get my stock out, and usually it takes a week for that money to arrive. But $3,000 or $4,000 here, my whole monthly expenses were $1,183, and that was including the $683 deposit in addition to my first monthly rent. Now, had I already been renting and didn't have to come up with an extra, it would have been $683 less than $1,183. So
wow.
Just give you a sense, it looks like my monthly budget is gonna be about $900. Because I only spend $6 a day to eat. I eat a breakfast in the morning, which comes to about $3 and $4 and change. Unless I want to get crazy, then my breakfast might come to $6 or $8.
I'll get out. Okay.
And then I may eat snack. If I eat snack, I won't eat dinner. But if I don't eat a snack, I'll eat a dinner, and that costs another $3 and whatever.
Okay.
So usually I get by eating less than $10 a day.
Okay.
Easy.
So I think because for me, I've been like, I think I can almost say that I can live out here on probably a third of my income.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd say 100% so.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Especially if you're not a party girl or anything like that. Oh my goodness. And that's one thing I'm really thankful for my lifestyle, you know, that I'm not a guy who go to the bar, buy drinks for the group
girls and the girls.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you do you, I do me, but this is me talking about me. I just don't do that, and I'm not into the women where I'm spending money on the women. Although if I find a significant other, you know, it's just my character that I'll pay for everything.
Don't tell all that. Don't tell them too much.
Right. But that's not my lifestyle. So I've been able to live pretty conservatively, and I'm kind of happy about that. But
awesome.
But nothing. Now again, I want to say it again. Nothing wrong with living like that. Living this, everybody to each his own. But this is me, and so I think I'm able to live on about $900, give or take, per month.
So one other thing, and then we can close this up and order us some food.
Yes.
I just wanted to touch again because I think as African Americans and dealing with a lot of oppression and whatever we have been going through and have gone through, we've all seemed to have put our finger in that pot of depression a little bit. Since you've been here, how are you doing in that?
I feel free. I feel like there's nobody looking at me different.
Wow.
When I walk in the store, I don't feel eyes on me. Is he gonna take anything? Or if I'm in an aisle where you can't see the rest of the store, nobody comes around and pretends they're shopping, looking at me. I feel free.
Wow.
I have not had any racial overtones, undertones from any of the locals here.
Wow.
From what I understand, locals look at people like this. It's only two races of people. It's locals and foreigners. Okay. I don't care what race the foreigners are, you're a foreigner. And they treat you like a foreigner, and they'll charge skin tax to you as a foreigner. You open your mouth and say something, and they know you don't have the features of an Asian, so they know you're a foreigner.
Okay.
So it's locals and foreigners. And so, but I have not had any. And I'm gonna tell you, that was another component that led me to come to Southeast Asia. Ever since George Floyd, everything in my head of what I thought about my country, what I love about my country, kind of went south.
Wow.
I took it hard, and I'm one of these brothers. I take stuff like that hard. I love people. I don't know everybody, but I love you, and you 100% until you give me a reason that you're not 100%.
Exactly.
So when that happened, I took it real hard. I guess I just kind of shut up and went silent for a whole week. Went to work and did my business, but I just didn't say much to nobody. I was just taking an introspective of what my values are in this country. Who am I in this country? What do I bring to the table to this country?
Wow.
You know, who are we? Who do they see us as?
Yeah.
What value do they have on us being here?
Yeah, wow.
We built this place. We built this country. We built the roads. We built the White House. We built the railroad system. We invented everything there is to invent.
Wow.
We brought country music. We brought jazz. We brought everything.
And here we are.
We bring so much to the table, but yet there's no appreciation. And so all of that kind of stuff was in my head. So it was then that I was beginning to think toward, maybe I'm not as welcome here. I was born here. I love my country, but I'm not welcome here. So maybe there's an alternative. And it was then, that was a turning point that made me start thinking in terms of moving out of, and it's just like, and a good analogy is just like a pool ball. You play pool. I'm not a big pool player. The key word is trajectory. You shoot a ball, it was intended to go this way, but it hit and it didn't go the direction it intended, but it veered off. Well, that incident caused my life to veer into this direction.
Wow.
So I've had a number of things that happened in my life that caused my life to veer off in the direction that I am in. So that kind of is an analogy as the results of where I am right now.
Wow, and I would say for sure that you have recreated yourself.
And I've always put on Facebook, long before I made a decision to come here, if you don't like your life, it's okay. You got permission to start over. And I tell everybody that.
Yes.
If you don't like your situation, don't be sitting and complaining. I used to come to work and people complain. In my head, I'm like, you could change that. You don't live in no communist country where they force you to be. Back in the day, they force you to be this, and you miserable, but you have to. You can change. We live in a free country. You can go to school. You can learn a different skill.
Yes,
you don't have to be. You don't have to be. So you can change. So why come in here? And I don't want to hear this when I see them the next morning, I go, oh God, here they come. I don't want to be that guy. So I tell people, you can change your life, and that's still my message. That message has been consistent through my entire later adult life. You can change. If you don't like your current situation, you don't like, hey, you can change no matter what it is.
Yes. And so, go ahead. You want to finish?
No, I was going to say, you can rebound. And after you rebound, you can create a new normal.
There you go.
And that normal will take you for the rest of your life. But that's what I want to say.
Awesome. I think that's awesome. And it's not that you're just saying, oh, if you don't like your life, change it. You have done it.
Yes.
You're doing it.
Yes.
And so it's not, oh, you know how they say, do as I say.
Right. Exactly.
But I'm doing the doggone thing. You're doing it, and you're also encouraging other people to do it. And so that I applaud you for. Enoch is in charge of his own life.
I like that.
You are showing us you in charge.
When I created that, I didn't know what my niche was going to be. I was just doing everything just to see what, one contest say, if you just throw up against the wall and see what stick. So that's what I was doing. I was doing everything I like and see who like what. But that turned out to be a good name to my channel. Yes. And that'll be a name to my channel forever.
Yes, that's what I always try to get people to take your power back, from where you have given it to the jobs, you're giving it to people, places, and things. Pull all that energy back from what you have put in and put that energy back in you, because what we're going to realize is people are what makes the world go round.
Yes.
We are what makes the world go round, and when we pull our energy out of any economy, it's going to fall.
Yes.
So we're in charge. It's just, what are we going to do with our energy? How are we going to use it? How are we going to purposely intend for it to be used? So you were saying in that pool shot, intention. What's your intentions?
I like where you went right there, because there's a commercial, those of us who live in the U.S. and probably around the world, that used to be, I want to be like Mike. Well, whether you know it or not, in your life, there's at least 10 people looking at your life. They admire you secretly. They'll never tell you.
Yes.
And whatever move you make, they'll see it on themselves. That's a possibility for me. And a lot of times when you make a certain decision, it'll encourage them and influence them to make the same decision. So you have to be careful of what you do, what decisions you make, where you go, what you say, because there are so many people that's looking after you. That's why a lot of times when people pass away, it affects so many lives, because so many people, you created a certain chemistry in the sphere of a group when you were there. But when you leave, the chemistry changes. And it don't, the taste don't taste the same. The temperature in the room changes. It's not the same. So you gotta be careful how you live, because as a whole, you'll never know who unless you die and you lay in the coffin and you can listen to people giving their eulogy over the microphone of how you helped them out. But I want to live my life where somebody can say, if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yes, yes.
And I got to see that when my dad passed. I had no idea my dad had that kind of influence.
Wow.
You know, my dad was an elder in his church, but he would never accept the term elder.
Oh.
He said, I'm just Brother Enoch. I'm Junior. He said, I'm just Brother Enoch. But pastor after pastor after pastor said, Brother Enoch trained me to be a pastor. I went, my dad's not a pastor. How you doing? But my dad had a convalescent home ministry, and he said, you want to preach? He used to practice at my convalescent over these people, and they would come and let them practice. He said they make all kinds of mistakes, but it was okay. It was just in the convalescent home among older people, and they appreciated company anyway because nobody was coming to visit them. Their families weren't close. And so at the funeral, it blew me away. He said he did this and he did that, and I'm like, wow, I had no idea. So be careful how you live because you have no idea who you are influencing. That's the message I wanted to say in piggybacking off of what you just said.
So one more second and then we're gonna end it. So yeah, with what you're saying, my thing is I like what you just said because for me that has been one of the things that I have, you know, always fall back on is that you inspire people who don't want to give you the credit and say that, you know, you inspire them. They're not, so many of our friends and people around us, they will not tell us we inspire them when they know that we do. Right. And so I want to give you your credit. You know, even I was brought up in a church, and so they would say, give ye your flowers while you can still smell them and see the beauty that they bring. You encouraged me because I only had 15 followers at this time. But you basically said, you know what? Don't stop. Be consistent. Get up and go. And so I was like, whoa. And you were just sending me the messages that when I first reached out to you. And I'm encouraged by that. But to see that not only you're still going at it strong, but the people love you. And it's
I'm
just
so thankful.
And I'm meeting you, I just see that you're just authentic. You're the same person on the camera as off the camera. So that's a blessing. So I just wanted to thank you. And I am pleased that you would have me because I had to come for a visa run to Vietnam and you agreed to do the interview. So I thank you for that. Namaste.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
All right. Anything else you want to tell the viewers before we close out?
Nothing I can think of now.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for viewing. Please like and subscribe. And I will have Enoch in Charge in the description. You can go and like and subscribe to his page as well. Thank you and have a good day. Sawadee ka.